What's up, everybody? So today I'm going to cover this article from MishTalk in MishTalk. If you haven't had a chance, have a good look at this article, because I'm not going to go into all the links and things. The main factor for me doing this article is over the past couple of days I've been, much like yourself, been hearing all the crap about the New Deal that Boris has brought up, and how the EU are rejecting it and the people are rejecting it and Parliament is rejecting it. Well, is that true? And what are the possibilities moving from here? It appears that Parliament may be getting behind this, and what we have to do is have a look at this and see where the issues are. I've not been particularly happy in the last couple of days, and obviously I haven't done any videos, but this article has encouraged me to do a video. So let's have a look at this article. So, Brexit irony, EU rejects its own proposals. It says, when Theresa May first started negotiating Brexit, Michel Barnier, the EU's negotiator, suggested a Northern Ireland backstop. Now, Theresa May had to reject that idea because she needed the 9 DUP MPs to hold together her fragile coalition. From the BBC, a Northern Ireland only backstop. This is what the EU originally proposed. It would involve Northern Ireland alone remaining in the EU single market and customs union, leaving Great Britain, England, Scotland and Wales free to strike trade deals. But the DUP, a Northern Ireland Unionist party that propped up Theresa May's minority Conservative government, objected to this. So, Boris Johnson has just revived that idea, and he's somehow managed to get the DUP on board. But the EU seems united against its own idea. So I'm not going to go into the links, but you've got Michel Barnier on Twitter, Jennifer Rankin on Twitter, and the EC in UK on Twitter. It's worth having a look at those, but we won't be doing so now. And he then goes on to The Guardian Live, which once again has a good synopsis, he says. The DUP has accused the Irish government of being obstructionist and intransigent. This is from the DUP leader Arlene Foster, commenting on what Simon Coveney, Ireland's Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister, said earlier about the Brexit deal being unacceptable in its current form. The Irish government's preparedness to dump the consent principle for their country's expediency is foolish in the extreme and sends a clear message to the Unionists. Again, we got another link from Donald Tusk, the European Council President, because it's essentially Tusk is open to this idea, but he's unconvinced. So, what is going on? Is this a bluff by Ireland? Is it a bluff by the EU? Is it Irish intransigence or EU intransigence? Or is it number 5, all of the above? And what you will notice there is the missing one. Is it UK intransigence? Well, no, it's not UK intransigence, because it looks like we're ready to give up some things in order to get this deal done. The EU and Ireland have to do that as well. So Mike actually says he doesn't think it's number 4. He doesn't think it's EU intransigence. His guess it's either 1, 2 or 3. Now, Mike does a lot of articles on Brexit, so he did one yesterday which was on the verge of a Brexit breakthrough. It's well worth a read, and he doesn't feel the need to change that view. He says the important point is not the seemingly major disagreement, but rather the fact that there are major negotiations underway. Yes, and that's true. No matter what you're hearing in the news today about how they say it's not going to work, there still is negotiations going on. So, a bluff by Ireland and the EU are highly likely. The alternative is Irish intransigence, EU intransigence, or both. Mike says he rules out EU intransigence on the grounds that the EU will go along if Ireland does. Then a link for Harry Cole on Twitter, who says the flippant Dublin reaction to the Prime Minister's proposals has also exposed the reality that the Irish government would never have consented to the United Kingdom leaving the backstop if it had been implemented. There's a very interesting idea there. And that would have been a trap for the UK. Would have been a trap, absolutely. So admitting to the trap in Stand Up for Brexit, obviously pro-Brexit. Have a look at that link, and that's essentially Irish government injection of any backstop alternative shows it was a trap. Indeed, it would have been a trap. So, has Boris Johnson managed to do something amazing? And it appears he's achieved something everyone thought was impossible. A majority. So the DUP are on board, rebel Labour MPs are on board, hard Brexiteers are on board, and most Tories are on board. Steve Baker, the chair of the ERG, European Research Group, which represents Tories pushing for a harder Brexit, and one of the 28 Spartans who voted against Theresa May's deal on every occasion, tells Johnson, "We now glimpse the possibility of a tolerable deal." My goodness, this is incredible. Johnson says he welcomed that coming from Baker, although he says the two have spoken regularly in recent days, and so he implies he is not surprised to have Baker's support. And so that's pretty amazing, actually. And note this, goes on Mike. Northern Ireland's Chief Constable Simon Byrne has said that his officers will not staff any form of border security after Brexit. At a meeting of the Northern Ireland Policing Board earlier, Byrne said he had made it clear to the Northern Ireland office that police would not staff any form of border security after the UK leaves the EU. If Ireland or EU sink this deal, the most likely consequence is no deal. Yes, we've got to make that very clear. This is a reasonable deal. I haven't looked into this hugely, but any kind of deal is going to be got to be accepted, or we are going out with a no deal, as Boris Johnson has repeatedly said. So polls show that Johnson will clobber Jeremy Corbyn in an election. Heck, the Liberal Democrats might even become the opposition leader. The EU has to understand this. And then he goes on about an 11 tweet chain from Andrew Duff on Twitter. We'll not have a look at that one, but the basic conclusion is that the goal is a decent UK-EU working partnership with peace and legitimacy for Ireland, North and South. He adds in a second tweet, Johnson is frank about turning away from May's agreement. In these circumstances, what works for Ireland, that is better than a no deal. So, closing up this article, it is clear that May's deal was better for the EU than Johnson's deal, but it can't pass. That's already been voted down 3 times. The choice will be between Johnson's deal or a no deal. For political purposes, the Tories and the Lib Dems want elections. For political reasons, the EU does not want the EU having a say in EU policies and procedures. So, the hand of those allegedly wanting to stop no deal is exposed. There is no majority for a referendum. There is no majority for elections. There is no majority for a caretaker government. There is no majority for Remain. The Labour, the Lib Dems and the SNP say their top priority is to stop no deal, and they are against Johnson doing just that. Indeed. So as you can see, an excellent article. This has made me feel a lot better about reading all this rubbish in the last couple of days, and all the extra Project Fear stuff seems to be coming on. Anyway, comment below to let me know what you think. Like, share and subscribe if you appreciate what we do. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe if you appreciate what we do.